Good afternoon. I'd like to introduce you all to Patrick Bice from Canada Post. He's going to be assisting us here by showing us a live demo to make sure that you're getting all of your rates and some other questions. So what we're going to do, we'll put our questions in the chat below. And what I'm going to do is let Patrick take it away now. Go ahead, Patrick, you're co-host, so you can do share screen if you need.
Awesome. A couple of things to look for, a couple of simple things that you can look for. First of all, in order to qualify for the rates, you would have had to have gone through Heather, who would have lovingly put together a whole package of paperwork for you to sign, which would have come back to me, and it would have gone to our sales assistant, who would have put it through and then basically given you an account number and a contract number. So that account number and that contract number are essential for you to be able to get to those rates. So I just kind of wanted to show everybody the difference between what you would pay at the counter versus what you pay using the SSFPA rates. So the screen I'm going to show you is an internal screen. It's not the same as the EST or whatever you would use at work, but it will pull the same rates. And it allows me to demonstrate kind of if you were just an average Joe that was trying to mail something and you walked into a Canada Post office, what it would cost. And then I'll show you the exact same parcel to the same destination, what it costs with the SSFPA. So you guys can see kind of the price breakdown and where it goes. Because I know with the fuel surcharges last year, there was a lot of confusion because they were quite high. But this will give you a complete breakdown and show you exactly where the expenses are. So I'm going to share my screen and show you this, the software. So I'll start off with just a regular, I'll actually use my postal code here in Victoria. And we'll use a destination that is quite expensive. As you all know, shipping anything to Toronto is terribly expensive, no matter which way you go, whichever carrier you go. So I'll put in a Toronto postal code so you can see kind of what that looks like. W9. And then we're going to put in, let's say, a 2 kilogram parcel. And let's say it's in a box 20 by 20 by 10. And so if you were to go to the counter, that kind of a box with a regular parcel, which I don't know if I can make the screen bigger. Can everybody see this okay? So part of the account with the small scale food processors is that you don't send anything regular parcel, you're sending stuff expedited. And what comes with expedited that doesn't come with regular parcel is insurance and tracking. So you get up to $100 worth of insurance, plus you also get the tracking. Whereas regular parcel is a consumer product, it's not a commercial product. Anybody can get that. Expedited parcels are not available to counter people. So people who walk up to the counter, they don't qualify for that. The other benefit that you get is when it is busy, like at Christmas time, if we've got expedited parcels, they don't wait. We'll pull regular parcels off the truck and expedited takes priority. So the parcel that Timmy is mailing to grandma doesn't take precedence over your business parcel. Business parcels come first. That's why we suggest use expedited. But you can see it's basically the same service. The only difference is the insurance and that it takes precedence over regular parcel. So if you're at the counter, that parcel that is 2 kilograms, that is 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters, would cost you $27.50. The raw cost of the parcel is $21.12. Then you've got $2 worth of taxes, and then you've got the fuel surcharge of $5.07 comes to $27.50. If we now take that same parcel, I'm just going to use the drop down and give you the discount of level 9. So remember $27.50 because that's what we were paying. You can see the price comes down on regular parcel to $22.66. Same for expedited because it's the commercial version of the regular parcel. But you can see that you're saving a good $5 on that, a little less than $5, $4 and change. So that's how the discount works. I think where the big confusion came last year, am I getting my discount? Am I not getting my discount? Was more centered around the fuel surcharge, because right now it's at 24% and it's on its way down, which is good news. They keep lowering it week by week as the fuel goes down, in the open market. Keep in mind that it may not be gasoline that's going down, it's diesel that's important because our long haul trucks are all diesel. So the fuel surcharge is coming down. We're also bringing online electric trucks, which if any of you are in Nanaimo, it's the first site that has gotten them in Canada. So they've got 18 electric trucks buzzing around, and they're working out a way now that they can kind of not charge fuel surcharge on those deliveries because they're not using fuel, they're using electricity. Our goal is by 2040 to have the entire fleet, which is something like 30,000 vehicles across Canada, traded out to electric, with the exception of the long-haul transport trucks, which can't be electric. They will have to run on diesel. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But the best way to figure out if you're getting the discount or not is to look at your tracking numbers. If you're using your account and it's been signed up with the small scale food processors, the first 7 digits of all the tracking numbers will also be the same number as your client number, your customer number. If you're seeing any other number aside from your client number, it means that you're using a different account. And that different account could be something like, let's say, through Shopify or through another wholesaler of Canada Post labels. So it's really, really important that you check every once in a while to make sure that all your tracking numbers, the first 7 digits, are actually your customer number, and that's actually happening. That's the best way. If you see that it's not, that means it's somebody else's account. You need to either call Heather, who will get in touch with me, or give me a call directly, or send me an email, and I can help you out with that. But as long as you've gone through the process with Heather and you've entered your account number and your contract number into whatever shipping software you're using, you should automatically get those rates. If you're unsure, if you have questions about it, the easiest way for me to check that for you is for you to send me the tracking number that you're looking at. Give me all the dimensions of the box, so the length, height, and width, and the weight. And then I can go ahead and check to make sure and give you a price and say, this is what you should have paid.
Patrick, sorry to interrupt, my dear. You once told me, or do I have it right, that when you go onto the Canada Post site and you see their account number, you should see the SSFPA master agreement number next to it. If you don't, that means you didn't fill out the application or didn't get approved.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. And I find where we run into a lot of problems with members is that they'll just join the SSFPA, but they won't go through the paperwork of trying to join the account. So, or they think they have, or it hasn't been completed, or they were sent the paperwork, whatever, life gets in the way. I get it. It happens to me too. And it was either not filled out right, or it wasn't filled properly. And the truth of the matter is if we send one out and we don't get it back, it's hard for us to chase you down because there's so many different applications coming in that we kind of lose track of who we've sent them to and who we haven't. So until it gets sent back to Canada Post and process, there's not much we can do in order to say, hey, you're not on there, until you call, Heather or myself and say, hey, I don't think this is working, and then I can look into it and say, yes, this account is joined or this account is not joined. But for the most part, I haven't had any problems with any of the small scale food processors members. They seem to all be on top of it, and if they're not, we've had a couple of cases that Heather and I have dealt with personally to make sure that it all gets connected and everybody's happy. So that's kind of like, I just wanted to show you that you're actually getting a discount, and it's actually a pretty significant discount over what you would pay if you were just walking into the post office. Now, keep in mind that the level 9 that we provide to all the small scale food processor members, equivalent of somebody who on their own would be shipping 5,000 parcels a year, or be spending I think the level, I think it's $50,000 would be the threshold. Okay, I just saw this come up from Esther. I go to our Canada Post account, it's showing our savings level is level 1.
We get this a lot.
We don't show you what level you're on your site, on your login. What we show you there is the level that you have for direct marketing. And everybody at the Small Scale Food Processors Association has been given a level 1 marketing discount. So if you were to do neighborhood mail, which is the unaddressed mail that you get in your post box, that's what that would be for. So just to give you guys a little background, it costs about 19 cents a piece to send something out unaddressed. With the level 1, I think you're down to about 14 cents, somewhere like that. So as a perk to it, we've kind of given people access to those rates. So if it was something you were interested in doing, you would be able to use it. But we can't stop that. It just comes with the level 9. They give you automatically a level 1 for marketing to hope to entice you to do marketing. it's causing a ton of confusion with the small scale food processors members because they log in and say, oh, it just says level 1. And it's yes, you do have level 1 for marketing, not for parcels. Let me have a look here in the chat and see what else we have.
Judy had a good one, Patrick. It's so, do we individually have to post 5,000 packages? No, it's totally that you're with the SSFPA. That's all you need to know.
basically, we set the volumes. The 5,000 came from that is the biggest member of the SSFPA. That's what they ship. So if all of a sudden somebody started shipping 10,000, we would be able to upgrade your discount to a 10,000 shipment level. But right now, the biggest member of the small scale food processor does about 5,000 a year, and that's where we've set that level. So, it's one of those you're basically benefiting from a member who's doing tons of business, and that's where we set the whole threshold for the small scale food processors. Go ahead.
Sorry, Bhaskar had a great question. Why do products get cubed? And I know going through Vancouver, Patrick, is it true that all parcels going through Vancouver get cubed?
Well, we check for cubing for everything, and that's not just us, it's every carrier. So what ends up happening is we have a lot of space on a truck, right? There's a finite amount of space in a semi-truck when it's going across the country. And the reason it's cubed is because we account for all of that space. So if your parcel, let's take, for example, you're sending pillows, big king-size pillows, the giant ones. They don't weigh very much, do they? But they take up a heck of a lot of space if you don't fold them up. So what they're charging you for is the actual weight that a box of that size that pillow would come in would weigh if it was filled. Not just with feathers, but filled with actual merchandise, right? So because the space is at a premium, they will charge you whichever is more, whether it's the cubed weight or whether it's the actual weight of the parcel. The way around this, the best way around this, is to make sure that your packaging is as tight as possible to what's inside. If you are experiencing lots of cubing, again, you either get in touch with Heather and she'll put you in touch with me, or if you have my email or phone number directly, call me. I can make some suggestions, because a lot of the SSFPA members are sending smaller parcels. Whether maybe it's a sauce mix, or like in Bhaskar's case, he's sending a lot of spices that are light. The bigger the box and the lighter the stuff inside, the higher the cube, because it's looking for, if that whole box was completely stuffed full of merchandise, that's what they're looking for.
You're paying for air.
You're paying basically that to ship air, which is not cool. I don't like it. I'm not a commission sales rep. I'm on a salary here, so like it's not like I'm making gobs of money when you guys are shipping stuff that's cubed. I would actually prefer it if you didn't cube and spent less, because that makes me happy. Not that I don't like the company that I work for, but they make enough money. They don't need extra money for shipping air. All of that really started with air freight, right? Because it's at a premium, and they do it for all parcels.
There was another one too that we had. Actually, Judy just had a good one. Oh, it was Shopify.
Yeah.
Patrick, I know that one of the members hooked up their Canada Post account with Shopify, but it wasn't easy. Do you have a step-by-step instruction thing for the members?
I can give you a step-by-step. Yeah, I can send that out. That's not a problem.
That'd be great. I'd love to send that out to the membership. And Judy just had one. We ship wine as well. Judy, you can ship it to me. Will the SSFPA rates still apply? They should.
With Shopify?
No, I'm giving you both things. We ship wine, so you can ship anything as long as it's legal. You can ship anything.
Here's the deal with wine, and I know you're recording this, but I'll give it on the record, off the record. On the record, the law says that you shouldn't ship wine outside of British Columbia. Off the record, every winery in BC.
Everyone does it.
and the rest of us kind of just do a whole, I didn't see anything, I don't know what's going on, because it is kind of an archaic rule. Go ahead and ship, but the official stance from Canada Post is within BC. I don't want to steer you wrong and say you do it everywhere. That's why I'm giving you the official stance. If you did get caught, they would probably slap your hand and say you're not allowed to do that. But yeah, I can tell you that I've got a colleague in Kelowna who works with the wineries, and they ship all over the place. They've got wine clubs all over Canada, but the official ruling is that it's only supposed to be within British Columbia. Every province is only supposed to take care of their own province when it comes to wine, but I can tell you across Canada, there's lots of wine flowing left and right all over the place. So, and one more thing on Shopify. Shopify, they call it BYOA, bring your own account. This is a brand new thing. It's only come out this year and it's only stabilizing right now. Shopify, as you might know, is a major platform. A lot of people use it. For the longest time, you couldn't bring your own account to Shopify. We negotiated with them all last year. It was supposed to come in the last couple of months of last year, but it got delayed to this year. They have now opened this BYOA, bring your own account, to Shopify, so you can use your account with Shopify. There's a couple things to look out for. There's still a couple of glitches, so you can use it, but the manifesting issue, there's a manifesting issue at the moment, which can cause some trouble. So you might want to look out for that. If you're not keen on doing it, you might want to hold off for maybe a couple of weeks until they kind of straighten everything out and make sure everything's good. But I will definitely send Heather the step-by-step so that you can join your account.
Great.
Because at first Shopify sent out an email that says all you need is your account number and your agreement is optional. I'm here to tell you the agreement is not optional, because the people who didn't put the agreement in were still paying full price versus the discounted rates. That was problem number one. That took a couple of weeks to solve. Now we're on problem number two, which is the manifest, and they're working on solving that as well. So it's not a perfect system yet. You can go ahead and try it, but it does make your life easier. And when it is up and running properly, it's great because you don't need ShipStation. You can just do everything right through Shopify. Your orders come into your Shopify store, you print the labels, you put them on the package, away it goes. You do your manifest at the end of the day, and Bob's your uncle. So it's a really slick solution. Like I said, it's like 90% there. It's up and running. I have a whole bunch of clients that are using it. I actually had a couple of my bigger clients use it as a test for Shopify and Canada Post. So it is functional, it's working. But like I said, there are still some glitches, so don't be surprised if it doesn't work exactly as you want it to right off the bat. But like I said, I'll send Heather the directions on how to do that.
That's great.
It's a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any other questions? This is your chance. You can always email me afterwards. As you all know, I put my email address in there.
I see this one. Where will the SSFPA show? Is it beside the tracking number? No, because you each have your own individual account and you're authorized users. Nobody that you're shipping to will know that you're a member of the small scale food processors. It'll come up as the proper name of your company. It's just the way it is. The only way to tell that you are linked up to the SSFPA is that you filled out the paperwork for it. If you have doubts, like I said, get in touch with Heather and myself. We'll look into it. Or
else just go onto when you go on the dashboard, you're in,
you
sign in and you go to business and it'll show your account. To the right, there's another little box and it'll have the SSFPA master agreement number. And that shows that you're under our master agreement of the level 9 discount that we get. So if you see it there, then you're in, period. Yeah. You don't need to worry.
And yeah, if you need advice or there's Sheila says, there's
Sheila. Contact me, girl. I'll get y'all hooked up.
Get in touch with Heather. She'll set you up with all the paperwork. Or at first we'll confirm. I'll look at your account, make sure. And if it isn't, we'll send you the paperwork. We'll get you signed up right away.
I have an updated list from Annam, Patrick. I can check.
Oh, okay. And I promise you that the setup is relatively painless. It looks like a daunting amount of paperwork, but really it's just a quick signature on a page 7. We'll take care of the rest for you. As long as we got your information, your company name and your address and the phone number and contact. It looks like a lot of legalese. It's the document that we have. It's called an agreement activation form. We send it to everybody, whether it's for a postal account, whether it's for shipping, whether it's for marketing. So it's a catch-all for everything. So it has to be 7 or 8 pages long, and it looks really daunting, but it's really not that bad. Like I said, Heather and I can walk you through it, and then it's at max 3 business days, and your account's up and running. A few changes if you're having trouble integrating. We also have an integration specialist that I can connect you with that will help walk you through how do I set this up with Shopify? How do I set this up with ShipStation? Or whatever platform you're using. That's his job. His name's Michael Ferguson. Heather, he's like the most awesome guy ever.
And next to Patrick. No, he's amazing. He's a tech nerd and he's wonderful to work with. He's just bright as a penny. He's
been with Canada Post for over 30 years. He's done the service job. He's done the sales job. He's doing this integration job. So like he knows right from every step of the way how things work. And if something's not working right, he's the guy I go to for help. So if I put him in touch with you, it'll only be a matter of him. He usually shares his screen, or he can actually take over your computer and kind of plunk stuff in and make it work. And it's like going to a really good mechanic. You drop your car off, and 5 minutes later, it's ready to go. So if you're having trouble,
Yeah, he's awesome. Now, I will say too on this, when you get the application, it's 7 pages. You only fill out the highlighted areas. It's boom, 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 boom. Your information, your business. It's nothing. When it comes to the signature, Canada Post has not been able to get a digital signature box. So what we do is we do makeshift so that you don't have to sign it, take a photo, scan it. So what you do is you put in a digital signature, and I've highlighted it in my application, which I can send out, the words that you have to put if you're going to use a digital signature, and you just have to put it in one of the nearby text boxes. It doesn't have to be the right one, but just as long as it's there, that means legally you can put a digital signature down and just type it in instead of doing all the other crap.
Basically, long story short, we're a Crown Corporation, and because of that, we've got auditors that audit us every year to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And the audit process doesn't allow for digital signatures. I know it's 2023. We should be using digital signatures. We at least allowed people to start using them during the pandemic. But the bottom line is you just have to send the statement that Heather's saying, and the statement just basically says, I provided a digital signature and I agree to abide by the rules and regulations of the agreement. That's it, nothing more than that, and then we're good to go.
Yeah. So just again, just contact me if you have any questions, heather@ssfpa.net, and I'll help you all out. Patrick, are there any last words, or does anyone have any more questions for Patrick? Do you have any last words, Patrick? I mean, you can live after that, but it won't be your actual last words. But
well, I just wanted to say thank you all for your patience. I know that during the pandemic, things were trying, things were crazy, things were all over the place. Things seem to be coming back to normal. There does seem to be a little bit of a lull in e-commerce at the moment, but it's still working. It's just not as crazy as it was during the pandemic. For those of you who are here on the island, you probably get a visit from me because I'm actually allowed to go out and see people in person again. That's starting as of January. For those of you who are on the island, feel free to reach out to me by email or by phone, or to go through Heather, whatever is more comfortable for you. Just know that there's a team of us, myself and Anam are the feet on the ground type people who are here to help. Heather's awesome. She's been well trained by Canada Post. She knows exactly what's going on, and if she doesn't, she knows where to find me. But rest assured that we're all here to help you. Basically, your success is my success, so I want to make sure that you guys are up and shipping, that everything is working the way you want it to work. If it isn't, we need to know about it. So if you're having problems, don't just bury your head in the sand. Be sure to reach out to Heather or
absolutely never suffer. We're here for you.
Yeah.
Bhaskar had a question. Patrick integrated level 9 with our shop online with Shopify, and it is working great. And is it still valid with BYOA? I'm not sure what that is, Bhaskar.
BYO is bring your own account.
Oh, bring your own account.
So you'll probably have to. I could actually set you up with Michael, and he can have a look and make sure that it's all set up tickety boo. I've got all your information, Bhaskar. So what I'll do is I'll send you an email after this, and get you Michael's contact information. You can just give him a call. He doesn't like. It's not that he doesn't like email. He just gets so many of them that it gets lost. It's much easier just to call his office directly. That's what he prefers. So I'll get you his number. You can give him a call, and he'll have a look at that. And I see Vicky. Vicky says, do you know Lori Ungaro? Lori and I have been colleagues and friends for about 15 years. We actually worked at Pattison Outdoor together before we worked at Canada Post. So yes, I know Lori. She's a reliable person, a reliable source. She's got some personal issues going on right now. So
Yes.
Less than easy to access at times because her husband's very sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you need anything, you can either go to her or you can come to me directly.
She and I work together on lots of projects.
Oh, that's good to hear. She's awesome. I love Lori. She's like a sister to me.
Awesome.
All right. Well, listen, everybody, thank you very much for coming. And like I say, just email me or call me when you have any questions. And Patrick is very available, but I do try and help him by feeding it because he just gets so many calls. But
just give you an idea. what my workload is like. So I've got all the members of the SSPA that I help out, but I've also got about 500 commercial clients, if not more, on the island that also all vie for my attention. So if I don't get back to you right that second, I try to be as fast as I can, but it's usually 24 hours is the max that I'll take to get back to you, unless
Yeah.
I'm so, reach out. I am kind of busy. I'm running all over the place, but I do take everything seriously. And if you do call or reach out or email, I will get back to you. It just might take a couple hours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Patrick, for joining us. It was super informative as always. Patrick did a wonderful demo on data, which I remember thinking, oh my God, how boring this is going to be. We should do it again. It was fascinating of where you would put a mail out, but Canada Post collects the most data from anybody. So they know who's buying all those big TVs, who's buying what, where. And so if you were to do a mail out, he put a Mylar thing or clear plastic over. So the area that you did, but then when he put his Mylar where the people really were, it was in a completely different area. So you could be wasting a lot of money on postage if you don't know where you're sending your stuff to, if it's the right market for your product. It doesn't go specifically by product. It's more of income level or something. What is it, Patrick? Or
Yeah, well, we because we deliver about 60% of the e-commerce in Canada, we know who buys what and where. Just because of where it's coming from. Like if it's coming from Best Buy, it obviously falls under the electronics category, and it's likely. So we know who has a high propensity to buy what. And actually, we've upgraded that tool. So if we're going to if we're going to do this presentation again, like another data seminar, I can actually show you more, because now the map is not only for where people buy, but I can also do if you are doing a mail out, we can then put where the mail out went to. We can also measure respondents. So before the mail out, these people didn't come to your store. After the mail out, they did visit your store using cell phone data. So it's gotten a little more creepy and a little more high tech, but the marketing people all say, "Oh, creepy is good," and I kind of agree with them in this case. It is kind of interesting, but we've partnered with Palmerix. They're the ones who own the Weather Network. So if you've got the Weather Network on your phone, and you know how when you travel, it tells you the weather where you're at. It knows where you're at. It's passively tracking you now. It's not saying, I know that Bhaskar is in Miami. It just knows that cell phone is Miami. It doesn't know who he is. But we can basically figure out by how long, where you dwell. If you're spending 8 or 9 hours a day in one location and then 16 hours somewhere else, we know that one is your house and the other is probably your work. So we can kind of figure out where you go, and we can actually geofence a business and tell you in the last 30 days the demographics of the people that have been in and out.
Oh my God, so creepy.
Yeah, it's like that Minority Report movie with Tom Cruise. It's creepy.
It's coming. It's here. Yeah.
But that's where the marketing has gone to. It's all about big data and then what you do with that data. So we can then take that data, give you kind of a profile of who the visitors are to your store, what their demographics are, to help you market better. And we say there's several reasons why you do it. It's less expensive if you're being surgical about where you're marketing to. It's also better for the environment because you're not printing tons of gobs of paper and just dumping them in a neighborhood. You're saying, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to go there. So it's really, really interesting. And if anybody's interested, I'm more than happy to give you a whole 45-minute presentation on kind of how it works, what it's all about, and what it can do for you, what it means to you.
Bhaskar just had a great question that I want you to answer to the group. Does Canada Post sell its info?
No, we do not.
Good for you to know that. Yeah.
So because we're government, it also offers us access to postal code like earnings. So like how much particular postal code makes in generalization. So if you were targeting high income families, we can show you where those reside. And the thing is, everything's tied to the postal code. And if you are mailing these people, like we have 3 different versions of doing it. We have the neighborhood mail, which I talked about, which is kind of like unaddressed mail. That's the flyers that come into your mailbox. Then we have other ones that are called postal code targeting. That means somebody's targeted your postal code. You'll see that a lot when you get Wayfair. It's got a little indicia on the side where the stamp would be. It'll say postal code on it. It means that your neighborhood was targeted, that they were looking for somebody specific in that neighborhood. That goes to your whole postal code. It doesn't go directly to the house. And then we have another one called personalized mail, which means you already have a mailing list, you're mailing an offer to your clients, or you've rented a list. If you have the list yourself, you know who those people are. If you're renting the list, it has to go through an expert partner because they have signed a confidentiality waiver. They will spray on the addresses we provide, and then they're destroyed. So you actually never get the addresses. You just get to tell us who you're looking for, and we will tell you how many people are in whatever neighborhood you're looking for, and we will mail directly to them. So that information never.
Yeah, Patrick, that is such great information. We might do that again.
Yeah, it's even if you're not interested in taking part in it, just knowing and being aware that it's out there and that it's an option is
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I think so.
And if you're running a business and you're a bit of a marketing geek anyway, and you kind of like these kind of things and you're interested in it, why not? It doesn't hurt just to listen, right?
Exactly. So thank you very much for everyone to join us, and you, Patrick, and we will see you all again very soon. Any last words, Patrick?
No, I'm good. Thanks. Thank you
Okay.
for joining. Thank you for taking the time, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Lovely. Thanks, everyone.